Hello. Hello. Okay. Okay. So let us have another 3 minutes to start our Friday's programs today. Uh, okay. Well, waiting for the others, you guys can go and grab some drinks. If you like to eat some sweet, also you can grab some while listening to our Friday programs today. Okay. So today mainly we will talk about career. So if let's say you have listened my first sharing about career, that is part one. So today we will continue to have our part two. Okay. So okay. So another 1 minute. So we will start in another 1 minute. Okay. Mhm. Okay, not to forget introduce myself. My name is Elein. So also is one of the trainee counselor in SGU. So right now we have a very how to say very big and very complete team. Okay, trainee counselor team in SGU. So yeah, I enjoy the environment to work with a lot of people. To form a small team because every one of us we have different talent or we say different ideas, so when all can comes together, so it seems like we can work even more better. So it's just same, in our career. So everyone, we can have different type of careers. We have different interests and personality and all these things. Okay, so but then I'm surely that is still a lot of how to say the doubt. Okay, whether am I going to the wrong right path or wrong path, and sometimes even get confusing if another person is keep on commenting, okay, on your program, or even give you suggestion on what you are doing. Okay, so during today's session, so we will try to see, okay, how do we design our own career. Okay, it's kind of like a theory, theoretical. So, but then if let's say we put into practice, I believe you will gain something from this practice. Okay, so if let's say you want, you can grab some notebook, to start our program today. Okay, so let me see. The time is already 9:05. So we will just continue it while waiting for the others. So today mainly we will be talking about three different roles in career design. Okay, what kinds of different roles in our career design. Okay, and also okay, I write a small word. Okay, bonus, how to write an attractive resume. Okay, that is a bonus lah, because our whole sharing is around 40 minutes to 1 hour. If let's say we have extra time after I finish my presentation in this three role in career design, then we can go into a little bit of how to write an attractive resume, or complete resume. Okay, well, we are going to interview to find some uh, vacancy. Okay, so if let's say you are attending my first career talk a few weeks a few weeks before, so these are the things that I'm mentioning in my first career sharing. Okay, you call it sharing. Okay, so as I mentioned, when I want to pull out my laser. Okay, so that is a lot of slides. So I just pick four slides that I feel that is important. The main point of our previous sharing in a few week before. So this is the things, right? We need to do. Okay, formulate a goal. So at least you understand what is the commitment and wants. Okay, still, if let's say you still remember our sharing. So I talk about wants and commit, right? So that is two different concept and two different, totally different things in our life. So we can have a lot of one list. You know, now it's already November. Soon we will arrive. December's and New Year's. So during the New Year, I'm sure you have a lot of one list. Okay, I want to do this, I want to do that, right? So that is a one list. So, but then how many ones? Okay, how many point of ones we actually put into commitment? So that is a different story. So while you have the commitment, we started to plan it, right? We have final goals, and we have a few steps, a small goal, so that we can achieve our biggest goal later. And then we do have our actions, right? Designing your career. So this is what we are basically will go into today. So because in our previous sharing, we are just briefly, okay, talk about this. So we will go into this even more deep today. Okay, so and also from the previous session, I shared about that is two type of goals, surface goal and real goals. Okay, so that is different lah. So I know that everyone want to earn a lot of monies. I want to be a rich people. I want to be a very successful man or everything. Okay, but that might be just a surface goal, and we have to go into deeper and ask ourselves, okay, why do I want to be who I want to be? Okay, why I need a lot of money? Okay, asking yourself a question so that to figure out your real goal. Okay, and also I share a little bit on SMART, how to set our goal with this concept, and I believe you are quite familiar with this. And today we will go into deeper on how to designing our career with these three different rules. Mm-mm. Okay, if I'm going too fast, you can always comment so I can slow down. But I believe you are quite okay lah, right? Because that is only a very simple things, right? Okay, so I explaining. I will go into a little bit deep on these three different roles: detective, decider, and designer. So 3D. Okay, designing your career with 3D. Okay, so the first one, detective. Okay, while you are looking at the word of detective, you already know, right? So what kinds of responsibility of a detective? Okay, detective normally they are going to find clues. right? Going to find clues and going to do investigation, going to do some research, okay, so that to find the final answer. So this is the very first step of our designing career path. Mm-mm. Okay, so detective. To find and investigate the clue about potential career design elements. Okay, that is the biggest, and also we call it you might take the longest time here in the detective part, while you are going into the next decider part. Okay, so and then the second row is about the decider. Decider is you have to make the decisions. Okay, from here you find a lot of clues. Okay, what kind of clues? Okay, later we will go in into more deeper one by one, detective, decider, and designer. Now I just briefly run through what is their responsibility. Okay, so after you finding a lot of clue, okay, in your surroundings, through other people's suggestion or through your observation, you find a lot of clues. Okay, that might be 10, that might be 20, that might be 50. Okay, so from all these clue, you have to decide which is the component that you must have in the future, or you ready to commit, okay, to have in your future. So for example, maybe in the detective, I figure out that I'm a person who are very talkative. Okay, so and I love to talk. Okay, for examples, all right, in detective part. And then during the phase or during the roles of decided, I decided that need to have, okay, this talkative in my future's career. I cannot always focus in paperwork. Okay, for example, I need to have some career that is able for me to open my mouth. Okay, so I decide, okay, to commit this in my future's career. And then in the designer rules, okay, in the designer rules, we are trying to come up with a career that combine the component that I decide here to a career, so and narrow down them into the final choice. Okay, so with these three different roles, in between, okay, in between, right, when you're in the role of detective, when you want to go into the decider, actually we involve some of the stage, or the small stage or small step, okay, so that we can from the detective rule run to the decider rule. So we have to work the strong crew. Okay, we have to define, right, which is the strong crew. I mean, this is the major part that happening in our life. Okay, for maybe you are at the age of 20, so during this 20 years old, which is the what is the characteristic that work as the strong crew. Okay, so from here you decide, and then here also have another step when decided run to the jump to the designer, okay, career to explore list. So here you have to do a lot of research, right? We have nowadays is quite easy lah. We have a lot of internet, right? We have a lot of social media that actually you can explore what is their job, what kind of job that actually fulfill your commitment, right? And then you make a list, and then when the time in the designer, you try to see what is the possibility of each of the career. Okay, so far so good, right? Okay. Okay, so if let's say we put it in a different stage, we might have this five stage in our career design. Okay, this is very important, okay, because at the end of the our sharing today, you have to fill up the attendance form, right? So inside got a few questions that might related to my sharing today. Okay. Okay, so now we're looking into it one by one. So in the detective, just now I talk about gathers rules, clues. Okay, so how to gather clues? Oh, that is a very important. So it can be as simple as asking yourself three questions. Who am I? Okay, who am I? Okay, it sound a little bit religious questions, right? Who am I? Okay, where I come from, something like that. Okay, so who am I? So this is the questions, and we call it natural gift crew. Okay, another names of these questions. So natural gift crew. So how am I? Okay, go and get this natural gift crew. especially focus in this who am I. So in the more detail, we can through observation. So maybe you are the age of 19s, right? You are the age of 20. Okay, for me at the age of 30s, I try to observe. Okay, during my childhood time, during my school time, during my high school time. Okay, how am I be a person? Okay, for example, maybe I notice that I'm a quite extrovert person. I enjoying party, for examples. Okay, maybe through the observation, I notice that when I reading, I feel sleepy, right? So, but then when I do go and do some experiment, especially like hand-on experiences, we have a lot of future engineer here. You will find that okay, you totally can focus, you are not feeling sleepy. So through the observation, you will get some clues. Okay, so okay, like just now at the beginning of of the sharing, I have been mentioned about you can prepare a notebook, right? So because this clue, it can span a few pages lah through the observation. You can write down, all kinds of clue that you get in your daily life. Okay, and then the second part is about the rules. Okay, how you value yourself in the families, how you value yourself in a class or among your friends. Okay, okay, maybe you figure out that okay, I actually quite responsive. Okay, quite responsibility. So this is one of the how to say the clue for yourself in different kinds of rule. Okay, and then for the okay, so for the third part, personality trait. Okay, so it is always the most interesting things. We go and know who am I by doing some of the assessment, right, on our personality trait. Okay, so that is a lot of personality trait. It's not only limit to these three types, but these three types is mostly, I guess, is the most famous one. So the big five personality trait, the inventory personality CD or the DISC that you always can, always heard from some of the friends, right? Okay, well, the one recently I noticed that there is a lot of different types of personality trait tests in Facebook. Just click a button and then randomly choose. Okay, your personality trait is this one and this one and that one. That is not really reliable lah. Okay, because they didn't go through the how to say the empirical study. So it's good if you can get this assessment in a more formal way. I mean, because all these tests they gone through a lot of statistic study and they form all this inventory. Okay, and then you can also assess your career interest, okay, by doing some of the tests. Okay, the Holland Curve, okay, that is a quite famous lah. We call it SDS, right? Self-directed search inventory. So you can from there you can know what kind of interest that you have in career, and also you can also get this ujian minat kerjaya in a bahasa version lah. Okay, and the last one, ability. Okay, so how far you can go, right? Okay, so basically it involved in your semester test, semester examinations. Okay, or you go into that field and you test it. Okay, and you challenge yourself. So that is also one of the method. Okay, the clues that you can get to know yourself. Okay. Okay, so I help everyone so far so good. Let me check whether the connection is still there or not. Okay. Mm. Okay, so this is a very best part. Okay, who? Because detective part is always the most complicated lah. Okay, why? Okay, this is quite how to say quite interesting questions. Okay, when I doing all this study, all this slide, I actually also try to look into myself. Okay, why? Why I have to work? So this is the questions, right? Is quite common, but I believe most of the people will be answer, hey, I need money lah, right? I need money to buy food, what? I need money to survive. Okay, that's why I work. Okay, but is that true? I mean, the questions here, why I work, is actually we call it meaning screw. Okay, meanings crew. Okay, it's about your goal, your subject matters, interest, your reward, your value, your meanings. Okay, and for this, we can also have our work value inventory test. Okay, to test what is the main thing that you care the most in the career. Okay, you can also get the test from our SGU, right? Okay, and we look at the into it go, right? Goal. If you remember the first sharing, okay, we have to identify our real goal. Okay, that surface goal is always the most easier to identify. Okay, but then the real goal, deep inside the real goal, we have to spend time to figure out what is our goal, our life goal. Okay, and subject matters interest. Okay, what is the passionate, what you are passionate in. Okay, what makes you feel like you have to do that. Okay, because for example, maybe I use myself as the examples. Okay, why am I involved in the counseling field? Even though, okay, surely, people will say, hey, counseling that might not reach as businessmen, right? I mean, for some people who doing business. Okay, but then I know what I really want in my life. Okay, I wish I can see a lot of people that are able to find themselves, that able to go on with their life. This is the satisfaction, okay, I get from the counseling career when I see someone they can continue their life. Okay, this is the main thing, the main passionate why I work. Okay, and the reward, is that the reward that move you? Okay, what kinds of reward? Okay, maybe you've been recognized by some of the some board. Okay, I think, I believe engineer have the engineer board, right? Board of engineer, board of something like that, right? So what kinds of reward that you want the most? Okay, figure out all this crew is very important, so that when you plan your career at the last part, designer part, designer roles, you can clearly know what you want in your future's career and the meanings of career. Okay, every people have different meanings about career. So what is your meaning about career? So this is also what we have to think about. Okay, and the last part, okay, where? Okay, this is what we call the workplace crew. Okay, it's very simple lah. This one, through observation, through experiences. Okay, maybe through the comment from the others. Okay, for example, maybe through observation you notice that you don't like a very big group environments. Okay, this is through observation, right? Okay, through experiences, maybe you found that you are enjoying a family culture workplace. Okay, that is family culture workplace. It means you didn't have too much gap between the supervisor, the manager, and the staff, and all these things lah. So through observation and experiences, you gather all this crew. We call it workplace crew. And maybe from the others, okay, maybe others will tell you that, hey, actually, yeah, you present in hall is better than you present in the small classroom. Okay, so this is kind of like different things, right? Different, it's like an observation from the others. They tell you what you are actually suitable to do. So this is what we call the workplace crew. Okay, and I know that is a lot of things you have to gather in these detective rules, but one true thing is, if you want to design the career that is really shoot for you, or you are really enjoying in your future life, you have to uh, put a little bit of time, okay, to figure out, to gather clues. Okay, you go and prepare a book or a notebook to write. Okay, uh, some people use a few months to complete the whole process, to figure out what they really want in the futures. Okay, some people can done in a very short time, so don't rush yourself, to gather the clue as many as you can. Okay, so after you gather the crew, work on crews. Okay, you have to ask question: am I really the person who are in the R code? Okay, for example, maybe you do some assessment, right? So you got the R code as the first. Okay, maybe the second code is I. Okay, then maybe the third code is C. Okay, for examples. Okay, so then you ask yourself a questions. Okay, is that really the interest that represent myself? Okay, is that true? Okay, if let's say that's true, Then you do some research. Okay, what kinds of a career that actually match my interest code? Okay, so maybe in the big five inventory, the major or the dominant personality trait uh, is about openness, right? Then you have to ask yourself, am I really the openness people? And do some research on it. Okay, so to gather clues is the very, very first step. And then the second will be work on clue. Okay, for example, maybe you write that, okay, for example, okay, that is three different categories, right, for the clues. So the natural gift clues, the meaning clues, Okay, if let's say you are saying that I like for example, me, you say I like counseling. So you have to ask question, am I really like counseling? If let's say there is too many cases to handle in a day, am I really able to handle it? So what will be the counselor do? Okay, so you do some research. So beside counseling, can I go into another field? I mean, that is, ask yourself a lot of questions and do research. And then observation and notice the connection among crews. Okay, so maybe, for example, in the cruise, for example, the natural gift crew, by asking who am I figure out that I am a person who are very talkative, but at the same time I like to help people. So by combining these two, okay, that is a connection between these two crew. So you have to notice it. Okay, so far so good. Okay. Mm-mm. Okay, and then work the strong crew. Okay, it's about analysis. It's about gather crew. So this is what detective will do, right? So while you're looking for the movie, 007, James Bond, is James Bond a detective? I don't know. Okay, so you work the strong crew. It means after you identify 50 crew, for example. So pick the major one, the biggest crew, the strong crew. Only you go and do the research and ask questions. Because that, if let's say you are list down 100 crew, so if let's say you want to do all 100 crew, yes, that you can do it, but then it will be spending a lot of time lah. So it's better if you can work the strong crew. It means what types of crew that are actually appearing the most in your life. Okay. Okay, and then you will be going into the decider. Okay, decider is about define the component list. Okay, you decide. Okay, decider is about decide, right? Make decision. So after you work the strong crew, maybe that is still 10 crew or 15 crew. So you define which is the one you must have. Okay, no matter what, you must have. Okay, so think about this. Okay, okay, also to identify each of the category crew, right? Like you get just now, identify which is the among the strong crew, what is the crew that you must have in the career component list. Okay, if you don't have it, you will lose the meanings of your career. So, for example, lah, okay, so to gather all this and define it, okay, to put into different category. So after you get all these confirm one, decide after you decide all the confirm crew that you must have and you ready to put 100% commitment on it, then you started to do some career explore. Go and explore, go and research, okay, go and search what kinds of career that actually can match with your different defined component list, with your commitment list. Okay, so after explore, okay, explore it actually got a lot of matter because we only have a very short time today. I only run very brief lah in our sharing today. Okay, so you can get from internet. Okay, you can get from a website. It's called onet. Okay, that is a lot of different career lists, and also you can get some information from the people around you. Okay, for example, you found out that you might be interesting in the engineering. There's a lot, right? Okay, if you, let's say you figure out that you have some interest in electrical engineering by touching all the small component, and it's actually matched with all your uh, commitment list from the crew just now. right? Then you go and ask, okay, if let's say you found you have someone, some of the friends, some of the relative or work as the electrical engineering, so you go and ask, okay, is your engineering really have this kind of opportunity to innovate some things or not? Ah, so, and then ask, gather information and see whether it match with your commitment list or not. Okay, after you get some, maybe you gather all the career the explore list. You might have maybe 5 or 6 career explore career type. Then the designer part is about how to make everything in a piece. I mean, how to complete the puzzle. So you have the natural gift clue puzzle, you have the meaning clue puzzle, and you have the workplace clue puzzle, right? And you have these 3 different type of puzzle, and you also have a list of career that might able to match with these 3 different puzzle. So in the designer, you have to narrow down your career in the final career choice, okay, by combining all these clue. Okay, so why it named as designer rules as the final stage? Because you have to design. Okay, for example, maybe some of the people, they like to have these hand-on experiences. They also like to draw arts. They also like to draw arts. They like arts so much. Okay, for example, they can't live without art, drawing part, right? So this is from the natural gift crew, and this person decided that arts cannot escape or cannot missing in their future career. But then at the same time, some of the people, maybe some of the people suggesting him to take engineer, for example, right? So if let's say we think about like this, we only think like this, the surface one seem like engineer and arts cannot be related, right? But that is not true. Okay, in the designer, you have to think about this. How can I, use my art skill in the engineering field? Okay, finally, this person maybe he will figure out that he might be interested in drawing the plan, the blueprints of electrical city line. I saw some blueprint during the because I'm taking construction field before, right? So this person might able to fuse or might be able to use the art skill also in drawing the electrical plan, electrical blueprint for blue building. It's very beautiful, that is blue line, red line, white line. I don't know whether I wrong or not, but see, if let's say if we able to figure out what I really want in my future career from the different types of crew, we can actually design our career. We can create some of the new opportunity. Okay, that is always possible. Okay, so maybe now I give a little bit of examples on how to do the detective, the decider, and designer rule. So that is quite a lot, right? So let's say I just simply pull the clue 5. Okay, this is just examples lah. So this is the environmental workplace clue. Okay, this person said that I want to work in a small startup company. Okay, this is the clue that he got. Okay, I like to work in a small company. So he started to ask question. Okay, what it is about a small company that attract me? Okay, is that something about big company that will limit the use of my talent and personality? Started to ask a lot of question. Are smaller company really more dynamic? Okay, then he started to do some research. Okay, do some internet research to learn about the different kind of corporate cultures. Okay, talk with people who work in various kind of small company and find out whether it is like to work at once, whether it is the place that I like to work. Okay, and then you create the answers. Okay, the answer can be created in 3 different ways. Okay, you can create yourself, you can find outside. It means that you're asking others, you do some internet research. You can find your insight also. Try to ask yourself whether it is really one. Okay, and finally it came out with this: I'm going to work in a very small organization, okay, with less than 50 people, and a casual culture with engineer who are passionate. So it came out with a final answer and finding. Okay, and then from this answer and finding, you have to figure out whether you seriously you want to commit in this or not. Okay, for example, okay, the next step is what am I sure will definitely be some of the component of my future's career. So in this environmental crew, is that really I want to work in? Is that really important? Okay, maybe among 10 crew. Okay, is that really important for me? Okay, if let's say that is important, then you pull down into the decider role. I hope that is not too complicated. I know that it's too complicated. No worry, I have backup plan for you guys. Okay, so for the designer, okay, designer here, you write down any career idea that match with your career component in the decided rules that I mentioned just now, lah, and then compare and narrow down the career focus. So you will find some of the career lists, and you finally figure out that you are suitable in this, and you are really really want to get this, then you are success. Okay, so career planning is very important, especially at the age of when you're studying diploma or degree, because that is very important to identify what where you will be going in your futures. And you know, career satisfaction is actually having a very 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 close relationship with life satisfactions. Okay, because we spend 1 day around 8 hours, right, in doing work. Maybe that is less or more, but we spend our time in work almost half of the time. So that is very important to spend a little bit of time to do your career. So this one actually I design, not really design lah, but I make this lah. Okay, so to combine the whole concept that I mentioned just now. So the detective here is for you to gather the rules. You know, you to separate three types of different crew, and then decide, okay, which kind of crew that you really want. Then you put down here, okay, and when you put down here, you explore, okay, what is the career that actually can match with this thing. And then finally you came out with the designer. And for your final choice, are you really able to commit? Then you rate yourself. Okay, so but this one, okay, let's say you want to have a try from this, you can always find our trainee counselor. Okay. Okay, and just a very quick summarization. Is quite, I don't know, but maybe it's quite boring for you guys because there is too many words, right? But yeah, if you're able to do this step by step, I'm sure that you will figure out what is the main career that you really ready to commit in your futures, or even right now, right? You can already commit in your futures career. Okay, so in conclusions, I believe that is still numbers. Okay, so in conclusion, there is three different roles in our career planning. Detective, so you figure out your crews, right? So who are you? Who you are? Why you work? Okay, where you work? Okay, remember this is not a simply questions, because I believe if I asking why you work, so I believe that is 80% people will tell me, hey, need money lah. Okay, if no money, how to survive? Okay, that is I think majority people will be asking, answering like this. But what I mean is not this. Okay, if you listening from the beginning until now, you know what is the real that I want to describe from here. Okay, so for the decider, okay, you decide, okay, what is the component that you feel you really want in your future's career, from the natural gift, from the meaning and subject matter component, from the workplace component. Okay, when you figure out it, only you narrow down. Okay, maybe in the final career choice, okay, for example, the example that I give just now, right, the art and the engineer combined, they can actually focus in drawing the design, the engineering, electrical city plan. Okay, for examples, right? Okay, so and it can be more detailed. Okay, for example, this is already the part of natural gift, right? And these people, maybe he want to work in a very big corporate, and he aim to enter TMB, for example. Okay, so when you narrow it down, you have a main focus, and you started to, okay, even more focused. You started to contribute your future's career. You started to figure out, okay, what is the criteria to enter that company? What is the qualification I need to have right now? What is the elective I have to take so that it advantage my future's career planning? Okay, so this is the concept. Okay, so in total we have five step. Okay, detective, and then you work the strong crew, and then you go into the decider again, and you jump into the explorers, and you finally the design. Okay. Haha. So this is very important slide, because you have to answer it in your uh, Google form. Okay, so when I put this image, surely lah, how can I remember all these things? This is too complicated, right? There is a lot of things. Okay, the even only one of the detective rule. Okay, for example, if you really want to go into deeper to figure out what you really like in your future's career, even in the first row, detective, you can already attend a few sessions in SSU. I mean, the career counseling sessions to figure out all these things. But I tell you, it's actually worth. To start now at the age of 19, 20, 18 is better than you start later 40, 30. Okay. And yes, how can I remember all these things? No worry, I have a backup plan for you guys. So please contact us. You see here, if you like to have a ladies counselor, okay, we have 4 ladies here. If you like to have male counselor, we have 2 counselor here. So it's you can choose whoever that you feel comfortable to do this career planning. Okay, yeah. And why not use the service, right? In Student Guidance Unit, because in okay, just I know the market value lah for one of the report, the career interest report, you have to spend around 150 to 200 ringgit. I think even more some of the places, but why not just using the service in Student Guidance Unit? Okay, all of us, we are ready to serve you. Okay, we are ready to give you the sessions. Okay, let me see whether I have time for our bonus part or not. Yes, I still have around a few minutes lah. All right. Okay, so how to write a good resume? Okay, how to write a good resume? Okay, I believe you guys learned before, so I just give a very fresh, very brief, just to remind you guys lah. At the same time also remind myself. Okay, so here is the main things that you must have in your resume. Okay, the first one is contact information. For sure, you can place your photo, passport photo. You don't put all the selfie photo. Put formal one lah. At least the face is looking at the cameras, and this is the contact info, and put it large font. I mean, large font, your name and contact details. So the main thing is about the phone number and email. If let's say you want to give even more detail, it's up to you. Okay, if let's say you want to give your birthday, but okay, that is up to you. And then your work experiences, okay, and put the latest one in at the top. Okay, if let's say you have the relevant job, that is better lah, is add point to your resume. Okay, and the skill, okay, what kind of skill you have? Okay, this basically you depends on the job that you have. Okay, maybe you are interview some engineer course, then the skill that you need to have, maybe like, I'm not sure, SketchUp, AutoCAD. Okay, so all this is the skill that you can put. Okay, and this is actually place, I didn't put the number, is it? Okay, so the contact info is the first thing, then the second part is about your resume summary objective. So this is, don't write the full page essay. Okay, just a 1 or 2 sentence to describe why you want to apply for the vacancy. Okay, and what can you give to the company? Okay, this is very important lah. So, and then the educations. Okay, highest degree, your school name, your major, your graduate date. I believe you guys know this, right? So that is 3 different type of resume. So the first one is chronological resume, so is suitable for me, fresh grad. Okay, so this part is more focused in the work. Actually, it's the same thing, just the arrangement is different. Okay, for this one, you will be arrange your contact information first, and then this one objective second, and then the work experience come to, and then the education, and the last is skill. The arrangement now. So functional resume. So if let's say your work experiences is not that relevant with your skill, and the job that you apply is actually more concerned on your skill, then you can you can use a functional resume. So functional resume is actually put the skill part first. Okay, contact information, objective, then jump to the skill. Work experiences, then education. So just the arrangement is different. So combination resume, so you just combine all together. So you are putting focus in skill, also you are putting focus in work experiences also. So it's better if you can prepare the resume based on the company requirement. Okay, so if let's say if you want to use one same resume to apply 10 of the engineering job, surely that is no problem. But if that is better if you can try to see, okay, try to understand what is the criteria or what is the requirement of this company, only you go and write your objective and arrange all your informations, okay. Okay, here is the examples. Okay, I just simply get from the Microsoft Word lah. So just now I say right, don't put selfie photo. It's better to put the face, the some like can see your face one. Okay, so the name, and you can put the contact information here. They put here, right? So it's better if you can put it down, part of your name. So like this. So your name and your mobile phone, emails, okay, your profile. Okay, they are using this linking. I don't know how to spell. Okay, and then they put the work experiences first. So the latest work experiences is the top. So if let's say you are fresh grad, so please put your internship experiences also in your resume, okay? Because it's one of your experiences also, and then your education. So education is better to put. Okay, here don't have something like this. Okay, so your university name and then following by your major. Okay, for example, maybe you are graduate in electrical engineering, so you write Bachelor of Science in Electrical Engineering. I'm not sure the full name lah. And then you put the CGPA. And remember to put the years. Okay, for example, maybe you are studying from 2019 to 2021, so put the years. Okay, and the key skill, okay, key skill, okay, it have to be depends on your the job that you apply. So if let's say you are applying engineering job, so you can put AutoCAD and all these things, right? So don't put you can also put the skill that is not relevant the much, but in the very bottom part. Okay, so arrange it based on your uh, job application lah. So I guess that's all. Okay, for sure. If you don't know how to write a good resume, you can also come to SGU. We are welcome you. Okay, and yeah, that is a lot of good resources to use in the Canva. Okay, in this resume.io, a lot of beautiful resume template. Okay, I believe our Unit 10 student might use it. I mean, you need to apply for your internship place, right? In a very soon. And some of the fresh grad student, you can also use it. And Microsoft Word actually also have an easy to edit. This is the main thing. So you can also go to the Microsoft Word and you click on the new things and you type the template, you type resume. A lot of different types of don't be too colorful unless you are trying to um, unless you are trying to apply the job as designer, so you have to design your resume in a different way, but use it the clear simple means like if the HR department or if the manager say it, it can look clearly lah, especially the part that you separate each. Okay. So I guess that's all for today. I believe that is no questions today, right? Okay. So if you have question, no worry. As I mentioned just now, our a lot of counselor, right? Actually in our SGU department. So why not just go and meet them and doing the assessment that I mentioned just now, right? Assessment. You can request to do personality trait, or you don't want to do assessment. You just go to the counseling session and you say, I want to have some self discovery. So maybe our trainee counselor will let you do some card, to figure out what is a your self identities. Okay, and the most important thing is you can do the career interest test in the SGU and get your report. Okay, so yeah, we do ready for the online sessions and also physical sessions, right? I believe all the trainee counselor is quite excited to see you guys. And yeah, it's worth to spend time actually. Seriously, okay, at the age of 18 or 20s, it's worth to spend a little bit of time to discover what you really want in your futures, rather than after you graduate, and or rather than when you are age of 40 only you try to think about. That is never too late, okay. Even though you are age of 40 and you try to figure out, also can, okay, also good. But then it is better to early, right, to do it early. Okay, and this is I have to remind everyone. So you have to submit your attendance before 10:30 p.m. tonight. Is that tonight? Right, tonight. So remember, okay, to submit your attendance before 10:30 tonight. And the most importantly is you can also appointment your career sessions in our Google form now. So it's kind of like a professional, right? Our team. So yeah, I think that's all for today. I thank you so much for everyone who are attending tonight. And let's say you have a questions, okay? If you really have a question, don't forget I already prepared a backup plan for you guys. Okay, you can go to the SGU to figure out these three different roles, what you want to do, or what you can do with these three different roles. Okay, so I guess that's all for today, and I hope you guys have a very good weekend. Enjoy your weekend, enjoy your night. Okay, thank you so much. Bye bye.